Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Tesla weekly video for today. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend so far. So in this video, it's going to be quite short, some numbers out of China, out of Europe, and then some news related with regards to Tesla, robotics, AI, some comments from analysts as well. So it's going to be pretty short. If you enjoy these videos, hit all the buttons. We really appreciate that. We're going to start off with the Tesla weekly insured number from China. So that number came in at 6,200, which is an increase year over year. Now we do have the split from the last 2 weeks because of the Chinese New Year. So 2 weeks ago, the number was 11,600. And then for the Chinese New Year, the big impact here, 1,800. As you can see, last year, Chinese New Year was later than this year. It's usually only in February. This time we got a little bit of an impact in January and in February as well. That's why it's looking a bit strange right now on the year over year comparison. You can basically see that, well, next week, we're going to see a huge difference year over year because, well, the same week a year ago, that was the big impact from Chinese New Year. So there is that. We also have got some numbers with regard to the wholesale number. So for January, that came in at 63,238. How do we calculate that? It's basically a split between retail and export. So the number for retail was 33,703 and then export 29,535. And to be honest, it's not a bad number, all things considered, because again, at the end of January, we've got that hit from the Chinese New Year, plus also the refresh Model Y. Now you're going to say, yeah, but the refresh Model 3 last year, yeah, but Model Y, much bigger impact than Model 3. And still, Model Y is impacting Tesla in Q1. That's just a given. That's what happens when you are refreshing a super popular vehicle. And of course, if you're a member of the channel, you get this sheet for free. If you don't want to become a member, that's fine as well. You'll just have to wait until the Tesla weekly videos to get the information for free as well. So the Tesla China numbers from month to month in the last couple of years. Here are the comparisons from Piloli on X. You can see that it's not that bad, all things considered. Of course, 2024 was mainly a success. Well, let's put some quotation marks there. Success for Tesla because China was so strong. Let's see what happens this year, especially with the new refresh and, of course, the positive impact of a new Megafactory, which we're going to touch on in just a second. By the way, if you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment with the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. So year-to-date sales in China looks like this. We're still better than 2023, a bit worse than 2024. I also do want to touch on this. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, Ray Dalio bought this stock, Ray Dalio bought that stock. No, it's Bridgewater. Ray Dalio's Bridgewater. He's not the CEO anymore. I think he's still a partner or something like that. So yes, he might have an impact. But no, it's not Ray Dalio that bought Tesla. It's Bridgewater. And if you look at the percent of the portfolio, it's peanuts. It's 0.29% of the portfolio. So, okay, it makes for good headlines, good tweets, impressions, and all of that. But yeah, it's not really a needle mover for the portfolio. Moving on to Tesla sales from some European countries. So it's the usual ones: UK, Norway, Netherlands, Spain, Denmark, Italy, Switzerland, Czech Republic, and Ireland. The number for the week came at 1,900, which is a bit more than the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, each week was 1,200. Still quite weakish, right? Year-to-date sales are at minus 27.8% year over year. Yeah, also impact of a refresh Model Y. Q1 is quite weak. You might say politics plays a game in that. I would agree with that as well. So there is that. Then with regards to the Shanghai Megafactory, so the first Megapack rolled off the production line at the Megafactory Shanghai and will soon ship to Australia. I mean, this is a business, again, the energy side of the business, although more and more people start to talk about that, it is still flying under the radar because now with a second Megapack factory, we can basically double the revenue. Of course, the ramp up will take time, but this is growing extremely quickly. Margins are way higher than the automotive side of the business. So yeah, this is where the fun will start. So even if we see some struggling numbers with regards to the car business, remember that the energy side of things is becoming a bigger and bigger percent of the overall business, of the overall revenue, and definitely of the profits. Now, we've had an analyst from Canaccord that did touch a little bit on the current sentiment with regards to Tesla, growth, etc., etc. So let's have a listen.
Well, look, Carl, the reality is that the trends in the US and Europe last year weren't great. They were saved by a remarkably strong year in China. And so far this year, just the little eensy beensy data points that we have suggest that the trends aren't great so far in 2025. But the stock is really hinging upon the new vehicles that they're introducing. First, the new Model Y, which looks like a remarkably nice vehicle, and the promise of additional vehicles throughout the rest of the year. So, what Elon Musk referred to on the call about I think an epic 2026 and ridiculous 27 and 28 had a lot to do with new product introductions, both on the vehicle side. Obviously, they're going to start ramping Optimus production. So we'll have to wait and see. We kept our buy rating because usually in technology or in vehicles, when you have new products coming out, and the company's done a really good job of introducing new products that people like, those tend to really move the P&L and reinvigorate growth. So that's what we're hoping for. And we'll see. We'll find out how compelling the new vehicles are. So far, so good with the new Model Y.
So I guess for a lot of people, it's now a show me what you've got type of thing with regards to Tesla, right? Because we know sales for cars, not that great. There is a refresh Model Y. We would like to see sales pick up back again. The more affordable models should still launch in the first half of the year. So yeah, there is a lot of show me what you've got, right? You've made those promises. Now show me what you've got. I don't think that's why the stock has come down, because remember, the stock did double since the election. Even after the earnings report, the stock went up, even if the report wasn't really not that good one, but more promises were made, guidance and all of that with regards to full self-driving, robots, etc., etc. So it's now in a really show me what you've got, show me that you are the real deal, and then we might push the stock even higher. Because yes, on all metrics, it might be extremely expensive, but even if they reach 90% of the potential, today's price is basically nothing. But again, you have to be a believer in the story. Now, talking about robotics, we've got here the robotics startup Figure AI. They are in talks for a new funding at $39.5 billion valuation, backed by OpenAI and Microsoft, and maybe even Meta, if I remember correctly, because I've seen an article saying that Meta is going to invest quite heavily in robotics. Maybe they might take a stake in Figure AI as well. Figure is discussing a $1.5 billion funding round, and I'm pretty sure that Amit from Amit's channel did invest in the Series B, so he's already up quite nicely. Maybe he should offer us all a dinner sometime soon. Now, I know what a lot of people will say, oh, this is a scam company, they will never scale, it never works, etc., etc. On the other side, I would like to take the other side, is that we're now seeing way more talk about the robotic side of things, right? Humanoid robot, which should be quite bullish for the Tesla thesis, right? Because at the start was like, Optimus, who would want this thing, right? Another thing that Elon is throwing around, nobody's really going to believe that, etc., etc. Well, clearly, a lot of people are believing it. Otherwise, this company here would not be raising money at a valuation close to $40 billion. Now, I don't know whether it's going to be a success or not, but I do still think that humanoid robots are going to be a huge thing in the future. The future, not tomorrow, not the next month, the future. And the future, well, I don't know when that's going to be, but there's definitely going to be a lot of demand. There's going to be a lot of money flowing into that industry. Talk about money flowing into places. Well, apparently XAI is discussing a $10 billion raise at $75 billion valuation. Sequoia, Andreessen Horowitz, Valor in talks to participate. Company's last fundraise at $51 billion valuation per PitchBook. So, I mean, I guess if OpenAI can be worth, I don't know, what is it, $250 billion, maybe even more, then I guess XAI with Colossus can also be worth $75 billion. These numbers, these things are, in my opinion, insane. I mean, why are all of these things worth so much? I just don't know. Is it because of the data centers that they're building? Is it because of the future partnership that they can have with robotics companies, autonomous vehicles, and all of that? Maybe. But yeah, I would like to see the pricing metrics on that, right? $75 billion in valuation. What's that? A price to sales ratio of God knows how much, right? But yeah, these are signs of a pretty crazy bull market. Last couple of things here. Finally, we've had a meeting between Elon Musk and the Prime Minister of India, Modi. He said the following: had a very good meeting with Elon Musk in Washington, D.C. We discussed various issues, including those he is passionate about, such as space, mobility, technology, and innovation. I talked about India's effort towards reform and furthering minimum government, maximum governance. Let's see if we can have maybe Tesla in India opening some megapack factory, some gigafactory this year. I think it's just not a question of if that will happen, but a question of when. And then the last thing here is a very, very long note from, of course, Wedbush analyst Dan Ives. He reiterates his $550 price target, and he shared some thoughts on the recent Tesla sell-off. I'll just go through the whole note and then summarize it thanks to Grok. So this is part 1. Then we've got part 2 and part 3. You can pause the screen if you want to read the whole thing, or you can just listen to this nice summary right here. So analyst Dan Ives believes Tesla's involvement with Trump deregulatory policies could boost its valuation due to advancement in autonomous technology, despite concerns of Musk's focus on Doge affecting Tesla. Musk's alliance with Trump and his focus on Doge might alienate some Tesla consumers, particularly in Europe and parts of the United States, but Ives sees this as a minor issue with Tesla's strong production and innovation trajectory. Tesla is expected to launch a new mass market vehicle in the first half of 2025, alongside significant developments in autonomous driving and robotics, with Ives maintaining a $2 trillion valuation target for Tesla, excluding Optimus contributions. Now, with regards to this part right here, but Ives sees this as a minor issue with Tesla's strong production and innovation trajectory. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you can produce a lot of vehicles if people just don't want to buy your vehicle because they don't like the political whatever that's attached to it. I know it's quite silly, but I think we've seen enough cases online, and it's not just from the people that hate Tesla for some strange reasons, but it's also from the people that like Tesla but don't like to see their vehicle being vandalized, if that makes any sense, right? It's not Tesla's fault. It's the fault that, well, crime goes unpunished. So there is that. But yeah, there's definitely going to be an impact from Elon being involved with politics and Doge and all of that. Whether you agree with it or not, there is an impact for sure. And so looking at this stock right now, we continue our downtrend. RSI continues to go down. We went down even more this week. We had a solid rebound, of course, after those talks that Elon submitted a bid of $90+ billion to acquire OpenAI, etc., etc. Stock went down even more because the market thought, oh, that means that Elon will have to sell even more shares, just like with the Twitter days. So it would put pressure on Tesla stock, etc., etc. But apparently that's not going to happen. So we did see a rebound. It was a red week, but really, really a tiny, tiny red candle here. We'll see what happens. The 200-day moving average sits just at 299, let's call it $300. If we can hit that, I mean, that would be quite, well, a better, let's call it a better discount. But like I said, since the elections, I mean, the pre-election, we were at the $220, $250 mark. So yeah, we've come a long, long way based on, well, technically not really based on a lot of business stuff, more on what could happen in the future. So all in all, that's about it. Pretty boring week, but since this is a Tesla weekly show, I guess we'll have to commit to make weekly videos, right? So all in all, that's about it. Like, subscribe, all of that, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.